Well, hello there. You are listening to Nellyville, the podcast. And I'm Black. Hello, shalom. Welcome back to another fabulous episode of Nellyville, the podcast, the place to be. This is episode 6 of season 9. We are on a roll. We are dipping in and doing it. It is the tail end of summer. Fall is amongst us. People have their Halloween decorations out. It's great. It's great. The Astros out here dipping in and doing it. Football season has started. I mean, hey. Go Steelers. We're not going to talk about last week's game. That's not what we're doing. But still, go Steelers. You know what I'm saying? I hope everybody, get it together on the Steelers team. But hey, it's still, like I said, we only just begun. We have only just begun. So, Aaron Rodgers, let's do it. All right. Anyways, before I get into the hot topics and everything, I do want to do a throwback to a couple of weeks ago when I talked about Shea Coulee and the drag daughters coming out strategically one by one, claiming that they are no longer a part of the Shea Coulee drag house, right? The funny thing is, baby, there is no update. And why that's funny is because other than like a little throwaway quote on the Instagram stories and maybe a couple other social media, baby, Shea Coulee was like, child. Anyway, so, and it's just so funny to me because imagine, now I'm not saying that Shay didn't do anything. I'm not saying that something serious didn't happen. We don't know. We still don't know. But the funny thing about all of that is imagine being so planned out, so strategic, so deliberate about trying to create someone's downfall. And the person that you are trying to drag down, no pun intended, the person you are trying to drag down doesn't even give you the satisfaction of acting like that you even have any kind of an ounce of ammunition to even think about dragging them down. I mean, my gosh, look, if I got to cut my ties with a person, I'm going to cut my ties. And I'm certainly not going to come online and be like, well, this happened, but don't ask me about it. If you don't want to be asked about it, baby, don't talk about it. Hello? But do you know, if I was that bitter, angry, upset, hurt, and I came online with the intention of shining light on a person who I thought needed to be called out, and I got nothing more than just a little... Yeah, so anyways, so what we having for lunch? Baby, the rage that I would feel, anyone would feel, Like when a person's fan base is so strong that you came out with what seemed like tea, but also y'all didn't want to talk about it. And you know what people did? They didn't talk about it. They asked a couple questions like, well, shit, if you don't want to talk about it, then baby, on to the next storyline. On to the next. And I wonder how these queens feel, but wow, Shay, I gotta hand it to you. Baby, I mean, what can you really do in that situation? And then, as the drag daughters, you can't really be mad. She's according to you and your worldview, Shay is responding and being exactly what you called her: neglectful, rude, nasty. So of course she didn't respond to you. Not that they were looking for one. Maybe they don't care. But in my mind, y'all went through all this and planning and making these, posting poems and soliloquies and shit. And then Shay's like, ciao. Anyways, I'm glad y'all took the trash out. Okay, baby. Anyways, I had to just say that. Anyways. Speaking of family, okay, we got a couple of congratulations. Congratulations are in order for a couple of different couples. First couple, Monet Exchange and Andy. They are engaged. So congratulations to Monet and Andy. I don't really know the details of the engagement yet, so I'm really looking forward to hearing all of that on Sibling Rivalry or on Monet Talks or somewhere. I can't wait to hear, the details of who proposed to who and where it was and what happened. The ring is gorge. Monet's ring is gorge. So anyway, so they've been together for a really long time, and yeah, so the wedding's gonna be fab. It's gonna be fab, darling. And then the other couple that congratulations are in order for Cardi B and Stefan Diggs are expecting. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Look, this is loaded, and it is a podcast, so I can be long winded. Okay, I have other topics, but not that I'm going to stay on this forever. But let me. I'm sure you're wondering, Chanel, you were so excited about everything, and then the tone of your voice changed. Okay, let me explain. First of all, I do really mean congratulations. To bring a child into the world is a very beautiful thing. Children are a blessing. We yes. If Stefan and Cardi B are happy and they want to take that step and build a family, and hey, I think that is beautiful. But I'm not going to be a liar. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I don't have my thoughts and opinions. It's no Sade, but let's break it down. Look, families and life in general, it can be very unconventional. Okay? Everyone's family tree and traditions, and you don't really pick the way life turns out, right? But we have choices. And I think that it is okay to critique, analyze, dissertate people's choices, be it your own, be it others, be it your family, be it celebrity, be it whomever, okay, in general. I think that we need not shy away from the fact that the ink on the divorce papers is still a little wet. Now, Offset and Cardi B have been apart for a while now. The divorce finalized, more recently, but nonetheless, they weren't together, whatever. And, we know that history and all that. Knowing that history, and everyone's journey is different, but I find it really hard to believe that the type of healing that is needed with Cardi and her already churn that she has, I find it hard to believe that they are in a state of healing and stability that would allow for this next chapter to be wonderful. Now I know I said a lot, so let me rephrase my stance. It is one thing to get divorced and not have children. There's a lot of healing. There's a lot of things that need to happen. And everyone heals in different ways, and all of the healing doesn't happen at once. And I am by no means saying that people should wait to get married or date or have children until you're 100% healed, because let's be honest, you're never really 100% healed. The idea is to get to a place where you're not causing yourself more damage. Okay, that's a pretty decent goal, right? So I'm just having a hard time believing that this is just too much too soon. I mean, I'm glad that she found someone. She seems really happy. But then when you add the layer of churn, now not only you're thinking about yourself and your own healing, you're in tune with yourself. And of course, you're in tune with your kids, but even your own children, you never really know a person and their, and then Stefan Diggs has his own churn. I don't know how many kids. I don't know. I don't know that much about him. I know that he has churn. So this is a lot of people, a lot of young lives. Cardi and Stefan are still, relatively young. This is there's a lot of lives involved, a lot of blending, and it's already hard in general blending families. It's certainly possible. It's encouraged, and it could be healthy. It can be beautiful, but then you throw in the mix of celebrity. You throw in the mix, and both of them are in the limelight in their own right. There's a lot of layers here. You know, you got to think about your fan base. You got to think about the message that you're sending out, not just to your kids, but to the masses, to the young men and women who look up to you. Not that Cardi B is any poster child for role model. I mean, but whether you want her to be your kid's role model or not, I mean, I'm sure she thinks about all of that. And I think that, everything considered, I think she's handling it all in stride. But I hope that it turns into more of a Sierra and Russell situation, even though their situation's a little different. But that's the first thing that comes. I hope it's more of that and less of just a clown and pony show part 2. I think y'all are picking up what I'm putting down. And then it's like, Cardi, oh my God. Like, you're putting out this album when she's been going really, really hard for. She's been going really, really hard promoting this album because this is only her second one. She has had a lot of singles over the years. And I'm sure a lot of people didn't realize, dang, yeah, she kind of really she's only had one album. Lots of singles. She's still been putting out music. There has not been another album since that first one. And a lot of it had to do with, let's be honest, because of that man. Because of that man. And now you're finally, what is it, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, you're coming out with another album and you get tied up with another man. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Look, I've loved Cardi B for a very long time now. I remember the first time I heard Cardi B. I don't watch reality TV shows and stuff, so I didn't know about her. Like, some people go all the way back to the what was she on, Love and Hip Hop or whatever show she was on. People go back to that. I've been kind of knowing of her maybe since like right after that time, maybe around that time. But I remember the first time I heard Cardi B, and it was that song. I don't even know if it was like a actual released song, but she had a video and stuff for it. But it was that song, "Ran Down on That Right, You and Me, we could be forever." And then I remember when I first heard that girl, I was like, dang, who is this girl? She has got it. I'll never forget. I was in the car. It was nighttime. We were out. I was out with my friends. Someone got handed the aux. If you don't know what that is, you're too young to be listening to this podcast. So somebody handed somebody the aux, and they put that on, and they said, ran down on that twice, huh? You know me, we can win whatever. I was like, who is this? Who is this? And I just was so enamored, so much so that I had made a mental note. I might have even put it in the notes of my phone. I was like, this girl, she is a star. This is the moment. She is the moment. Hello? I remember going the next day. I was like, I gotta figure out who this song is. So I look up on YouTube and I'm looking, I find this girl and I was like, oh, wow, she's really got it. And I was a fan. And I remember when the first album came out was an Invasion of Privacy. And I remember, oh man, I was so anticipating that album. And I remember I had a full blown listening party for that album. Just me, because I was like, I need to listen, I need to study, I need to hear. I need to really, and I sat in my office and I put it on the KRK speakers and I listened from beginning to end. And I loved every beat, every second, every melody, every bar. I was like, this is amazing. Cut to, cut to. She done got with Offset. Okay, hey, like, everybody date. Couples get together. This is how couples promote each other. I don't even know if they're really together for real. We know how Hollywood work. You put two new, quote unquote, new artists together and they promote each other. Everybody love a little love story, whatever. Hell, we know how that went. And while she stayed relevant, while she still put out music, while she still had her other business ventures, I think we can agree that he kind of held her back. I mean, if she was able to do all the things she did under the circumstances that she was going through, you imagine what she could have done. But anyways, look, life be life, okay? Anyways, every time that I really want to root for her, she takes these left turns. And I'm just like, why do you do that? Like, she was just in an interview with Gayle King and she was saying, talking about the pregnancy or whatever, which I, one day on the podcast, not right now, because one day we need to talk about why I don't, you know what word I don't like, and I don't know why. I don't want to say hate, but I do not like the word. It's not the word pregnancy. It's when people say my pregnancy, my pregnancy. It's something, I don't know what that is, and I don't know when that happened, because I don't think I always felt that way. It's just that. If people talk about, I'm having a baby, I'm with a child, I got a bundle of anything else. It's just specifically when people say my pregnancy, and well, it is something that sends me into an irrational state of attitude, and I don't know what that is. We're gonna unpack that one day. Anyways, nonetheless, she's talking about the pregnancy on with Gayle King, and she says, Cardi B says, oh, I got to make sure I tell my parents before this airs because I haven't even told my parents yet. And then Gayle King's like, oh my gosh, Cardi, why? What? And Cardi's like, I'm scared of my parents. So, anyways, I point out the fact that Cardi says, I'm scared of my parents. That lets me know you have good sense. You were raised right. You have something instilled in you but there's something. I don't know if it's adult ADHD. I don't know if it's attention. I don't know if it's insecurity. What the fuck? Like, what is the problem here? Like, and let this be a poster warning for parents. Just because you instill fear in your kids does not mean that they're not going to go out and do exactly the things that they know. They like. Sometimes it's not your parenting. Sometimes it's unhealed trauma. If you know that you've raised your kids well and they respond in a way that they have respect for you, your rules and your values, and they still do random stuff, like not just as kids, but in their teenage years, their adult years, oh my gosh, to get them some therapy. Because apparently it is a trauma response somewhere. And we're just not, like, if you see that your child has patterns, take them to a doctor. Because sometimes it's not just the parenting. It's not just the holiness. It's not the TV. It's not just the phone. Sometimes it sometimes might not even be trauma. It might be a chemical imbalance. Help them, please. And I just, she's going so hard. Cardi B is going so hard to promote this album. She's really excited, and And she says she's happy and that she's excited. They're both excited about having a baby and stuff and blah blah. But of course, what else? What else are you gonna say? And I'm not saying that she's not happy, but you can see the fear in that girl's eyes. You can see that, like, damn, what have I done in her eyeballs? I think she's excited. I think she's happy. I think she's gonna be a great mother. But I know she's got to be kicking herself, like, God damn, it's been 5 minutes. And the broad and we take this even broader, and I hate to make it about race, but I have to point this out too. Why can't we have one? Well, we only have one. Why can't we have more black and brown female artists, pop stars that do not fall into a trap of letting some man drag them down? What? Why? All we have is Rihanna. Rihanna is the only one who did her big one and then was like, okay. You look at Halle Bailey, Little Mermaid, out her doing her big one. Boom, bum, baby. Damn. Another one bites the dust. Cardi B, at the top of her game. Offset. Depression. Damn. Another one. What? Like, I don't. Sierra made it very, very far. At least when she got tripped up, which a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe Future this year. Sierra had awful taste in men. Some people just got awful taste in men. She loves that thug life shit until it caught up with her ass. But until then, it didn't. You know what I'm saying? But she fixed it. She slipped, was like, oh hell no. This ain't gonna be no to the no, hell no. I mean, and then you look, you have people like Ashanti who didn't get caught up. You have, I think Maya, I think didn't get caught up. But I'm talking about it's always I'm like, oh my gosh. So at least, well, okay, we have Coco Jones, but she's not at that same caliber. Coco, she's out here, she's about to get married, and she, woo woo. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, can we just have? I don't know. I've gone on and on. I think I didn't even, baby, I didn't even touch. Let me move on. We've gone on and on. But anyways, no, but for real though, congratulations to Cardi B and Stefan. I have faith, and maybe this will turn around, and this will be a great love story. But y'all have known each other 5 minutes, so a lot of stuff is in the air. But hey, crazier and wilder things have happened and worked out. Who am I? But even album, fun fact of that, it had Janet. And before y'all like, well, Janet didn't get caught. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. We're not gonna not on this episode. Not 24 minutes in. Not 24 minutes. No Sade, but y'all not gonna sit up here and tell me. No, I ain't gonna open that can of worms. Congratulations, Janet, Cordy. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna pivot because y'all about to have me open a can of worms. Let's talk about another pop star, Sabrina Carpenter. So funny, isn't she hilarious? Oh boy, you want to talk about good albums? Sabrina Carpenter. If you ever take a moment to read her lyrics, or ever like really listen, or just watch her in interviews or anything, that girl is so unserious, and that girl is funny. The way that she knows how to play around with words, her facial expressions, y'all underestimating how witty and how funny that girl is. I mean, damn, she's funny. Like sometimes I be listening to her song, like, what did she say? I mean, that girl's funny. And then there's a clip of when y'all remember she brought out Earth, Wind, and Fire at the Lollapalooza, I think it was, like a few months ago. And one of the Earth, Wind, and Fire one of them was like, Everybody say yeah, and the crowd kind of was like yeah, but they was kind of quiet. Sabrina Carpenter did a face like, oh, I know y'all effing lying, like, and she was like, everybody say yeah, and then so they got a little louder, and then Sabrina was looking like, don't embarrass me on this damn stage, don't embarrass me in front of Earth, Wind, and Fire royalty. What is y'all doing? Like, y'all better appreciate. I done brought out greatness for y'all. Anyways, the face she made, it was funny. But anyways, the artist. And speaking of concert tickets, I know I did a video a few, maybe last week, 2 weeks ago. Recently, I did a YouTube video talking about the Ariana Grande tickets and how, all these people, these resellers are getting these tickets and they're selling them for quadruple, like buku amounts of money. And nobody's, the true fans are not able to get tickets, and if they get them, they're paying ridiculous amounts of money. But one thing I will say, at least Ariana, she did address the situation and said she's doing everything she can to get those tickets back from the resellers. She's added extra shows and extra dates and stuff to the concerts to kind of help people be able to go and not pay quadruple what or more what the original prices of the tickets are. I stand by what I said in that video. We need to get rid of resale altogether. I think that's the only way. I think it's already hard. You have everybody rushing online to get tickets, and I suggest we go back to people buying tickets online in the Krogers and the Winn-Dixies and the, I don't know if there is this, does Winn-Dixie exist anymore? I don't know. Be able to go in store because I don't know. We need ticket reform, and the resale that's got to stop. And if you want to know more of what I have to say about that, watch the YouTube video. I was going to talk about it, but baby, I went on about it. Apparently I had lots of feelings and thoughts about Little Miss Cardi B, so I'm trying to speed through it because baby, I had stuff to say, But anyway, so speaking of artists addressing things, Miley Cyrus apparently just has access to everybody's address because did y'all hear about Miley's out here sending flowers to random fans? If anybody can give me any information about that? I know y'all listening to me on the podcast. I'm supposed to be giving y'all information, but this person, I watched a video of a guy. He was saying he got a text saying, "I have flowers for delivery for you." And the guy thought it was just a scam because he's like, I don't know, nobody's trying to send me no flowers. Like, I don't know. And then they were like, well, is this so and so? And the guy was like, yeah. Anyways, ignored it. The person kept texting saying, well, I'm just going to leave the flowers here by your elevator. Because I guess it was a building where you had to get in, and somebody, somehow, somewhere they got in. Anyways, the person left the flowers by the elevator, took a picture, and sent the flowers. And the guy was like, oh, Lord, they trying to kidnap me. I'm going to go out here and get these flowers, and somebody's going to snatch me. Why was somebody's, and then the guy was like, why would somebody snatch me in broad daylight on a Monday in my leasing office? I don't know. Anyways, the guy went down and got the flowers, pulled out the card. It was signed by Miley, and it said, forgot what it said, but it did look like the design was something that was recently released by Miley. I'm on like the text list, and of course I follow all of Miley's stuff, so it was her design. It was an actual signature and stuff. And apparently I checked the comments, other people were saying that they've seen other videos of people randomly getting flowers that are supposedly from Miley Cyrus. So I don't know if that's a scam. If not, I mean, Miley, hey, you got to get creative to promote your stuff. I mean, you got Cardi B coming to a Walmart in the suburbs of Houston this week or next week. Do what you can to promote your album or whatever the hell. But how you getting people's addresses? That's what alarms me. Like, Miley, I love you, girl. But if you randomly send something to me, baby, I don't know. I don't know about that, man. That might be. And the guy was like, yeah, I keep checking the flowers to see if maybe one of them was fake, if it's a listening device or something. Like, I I don't understand the thought process behind that. Like, what would be the reasoning? Like, I could see if I'm on a mailing list. I mean, unless these people signed up for a mailing list at some point or time and they forgot. But I don't know. Like, I know back in the day it used to be a thing. You would join a fan club and, you get mailed stuff, every now and then. But what the I don't know, man. I got to do some digging because that, I don't know, girl. Miley, I love you, but hold on now. Let's not, let's not get too cute now. Speak of people getting cute. Let's talk about some of these makeup artists, okay, who are offering these classes and charging way more than what they're worth. Particularly, let's talk about this lady Priscilla Uno or whatever the hell. There's this makeup artist who was hosting classes in LA, and then so this young girl named Jordan, also known as Juicy J. This young girl is from Jersey or lives in Jersey. Her older sister got her a ticket to LA. They got tickets for got her a ticket, got Jordan a ticket for the makeup class, booked a hotel or Airbnb or whatever. Gets to LA, shows up to the where the class is supposed to be, and the people are like, "Oh no, it's not this weekend, it's next weekend." So the Jordan girl, if it was me, I would have cut my losses. I would have went home. I would ask for a refund. I would have went home when it was time for me to go home. But she didn't do that. Whatever. So the Jordan girl has her sister book a different Airbnb or hotel or whatever for the whole week so that she could stay there for the class for the following weekend. The girl shows up to the class, and the Priscilla girl was like, that website where you got those tickets has no affiliation with me. We can't give your money back. There's nothing we can do. If you want to take the class, you got to pay a deposit and you got to pay for another ticket, which altogether was like $1,000 something or something. And the Jordan girl, got the tickets from the website that was linked to her social media pages. Like, say if the makeup artist girl, had a link in her TikTok bio, that's the link that the girl clicked on. And the Priscilla girl was like, "Well, that's an old website." But how answer me this? How does an old website have up to date dates for tickets? How is that website it's still connected to your name, your brand, your everything? And I feel like, look, when you're a small business or when you got a small team, things can fall between the cracks, absolutely. But in that moment, as a business owner, you should have honored that and said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We did not realize that the wrong website was connected. Feel free to go ahead and stay for the class. Thanks for bringing this to our attention." I'm not gonna ask somebody, especially if I know they flew all the way across the country, they stayed here a week, they spent all this money on top of the money that they thought they were paying to me to take my class. Like, I'm gonna honor it, and I'm gonna teach you how to do makeup or whatever the class is that I'm offering. But here's the thing, I feel like everything. Oh, and then they said that the Priscilla girl made a donation in honor of Jordan, but she couldn't give her money back. Why you made a donation to who? Girl, you made no damn donation. Because if you had the money to make a donation, you could have just given the girl money back, whether you got the money or not. If you got money to be thrown around for a donation, but that's not what happened. But I feel like a lot of people dropped the ball and were wrong in this situation. First of all, it's too many local classes, and it's way too much internet and AI to learn how to do makeup for me to fly literally on the opposite side of the country to fly from Jersey to California for a makeup class? Who is this hoe? If it's not a James Charles, a Nikki Tutorials, a Jacqueline Hill, like who? I ain't never even heard of Priscilla Ono, and now Ono or whatever her name is. Now I'm not really in the beauty guru space like that for real, especially these days. Used to be a little bit more, but really anymore now. I just kind of James Charles was really. I mean, it was really the only one that I consistently keep up with, and even him, I'm like, I'll go a couple weeks and then I'll binge watch his videos. He's kind of the only one. I check in with Manny MUA every now and then Laura Lee, if she pops up, I see her. But those are really the only ones. And I don't even check for them. It's just if they pop up on my feed, then I will watch. But I don't watch their YouTube. I just watch them on TikTok. James is the only one that I even still watch on YouTube. So I don't know nothing about this Priscilla girl. My thing is, first of all, let me just say this. I am not buying tickets from a regular website. If it is not a truly official site, like if I can't get my tickets from like a Ticketmaster or a StubHub or something that is like really truly legit, I'm not buying. I'm not gonna buy the tickets online. I need to check off all boxes. I need an email confirmation. I need a QR link. I need a downloadable. I need to see all of the fine print. But I'm not doing. I need a legit, really truly legit website. Or I need to see people who have successfully done this. And I see like real actual testimony of this is how I got my tickets. This is where I showed up. And this is the results of, this thing, this event, this class or whatever. I'm not just going to be buying tickets off of some random website for some influencer off TikTok, Instagram or whatever. Hello? How is you cool? Especially when he's talking about hundreds of dollars. That was the first thing. Baby, it is not that deep. It never gave that deep. Second thing, if they're not doing it local, depending on what it is, maybe 2 hours. Depending on what it is, how bad I want to do it. Let's just say 2 hours. If I can't drive there, I'm not getting on a plane. I am not getting on a plane for hours to go take somebody's makeup class. To take somebody's makeup class? Even if I really wanted to meet that person. Like, for a makeup class? Huh? So what this tells me is you and your sister, y'all got too much time and too much money to blow. So, because my thing is like, no, nobody should lose their money or whatever. But I don't feel that bad because most people, I won't say most, but a lot of people, if you spend that much money on the class itself, plus room and board and the food and your travel expenses, most people, when they got there, realized the class wasn't working. They just would have asked for a refund, and if they couldn't get it, they would have cut their losses. They would have came back home. But the fact that you willingly, do you know how expensive it is? It probably was to stay in LA a whole other week. And it was just like, oh, okay, well, I'll just stay another week. I don't feel that bad for you because I feel like obviously you have somebody got disposable income, which money lost is money lost. But it wasn't like somebody was like, man, I didn't pay my light bill. I quit my job. You know what I'm saying? Like don't be dumb. Like, don't do that. But sometimes when people have money, they be gullible. I don't know if the more money you have, the gullible just seeks in on some people. Not everybody, but it's just like, sometimes I just wonder, like, what be going through people's head who got money like that. Then, as a business owner, if I know that someone was duped and it was because, whether it being my fault or not, as a business owner, and because I don't want somebody getting online bashing my business, I'm going to do everything I can to make it right. Baby, here, come on in, sit right here. You can sit front row. I'm going to give you the grand experience. And I'm going to make sure I record extra content with them because I want a digital footprint that I did the right thing. Because what you don't want, because if somebody's like, oh well, I feel like I got scammed, and then you try to do the right thing, and then that person, that customer, still goes back and is like, man, don't you know they still might get online and mouth you. But if this person can prove that they were actually scammed, I'm gonna make sure that the world knows that I do not condone it. I had nothing to do with it, and I did everything I could to make it right. Because one viral video can end your business. It can ruin your reputation. You're done. You're cooked. So here's what I think happened. I think that the Priscilla girl, I think that I don't think she meant for the girl to get scammed. But she has some loose ends in her team. I think that probably most of the people that take her class probably pay for it in person. It's probably only local people. Like, she probably, I don't know, maybe she does, but I don't think a whole lot of people are flying all over flying in to take this class. So it probably slipped through the cracks to take that website off. Because it seems like a simple thing to update your links, but damn, sometimes you don't get around everything. Maybe your person updated the links on on YouTube, Instagram, and X, but for whatever reason, maybe when they tried to update it on TikTok, it didn't take, or they forgot. I could see a world where you forget to disable a link or update it, or you get the wrong link to the wrong website. That happens. That is a thing. And I think that I don't think the girl actually donated anything, but I don't think that woman had that hundreds of dollars or $1,000 to give to that girl, because that whatever money she's making off these classes, baby, I'm pretty sure that money is already spent to support her own lifestyle and to be able to keep hosting these classes and stuff. Because if she didn't actually somebody got the money. But even if the Priscilla girl did get the money, baby, don't you know that money was already spent when you bought that ticket? She probably would have loved to give your money back, but she probably knew, I can't get this girl my money back. How the hell am I gonna pay my rent if I give this girl $1,000? Like, what? So, that Priscilla girl needs to figure out who on her team set her up for failure, because either somebody left that website up on her socials on purpose and was pocketing the money, which, I mean, unless it doesn't seem like it's happening to a lot of people. You can only keep that up for so long, because people are going to show up to the class and be like, it's going to be a lot of people's like, well, your name's not on the list. But so I do think it was a genuine accident, but let the lesson be learned. Don't be flying across the country for stuff like that. And then if you are, make sure everything's legit. And if you get there and it's not, baby, do what you can to get your refund or cut your losses and come home. Don't be staying a whole extra, girl, because, Huh? Baby, when I went to that class and they said it's not this weekend, that would have been my sign. Baby, that would have been my sign. Okay, well, I'm gonna get my refund and I'm gonna keep it pushing. Cause baby, anyways, who am I? Who am I? With that being said, Jordan, Sweetie, Juicy J, whatever your name is, little girl, and to you and to your sister, please, and to everybody out there, do your due diligence to research and make sure you know what you're spending your money on. People who have businesses and stuff, do what you can to honor the customer and do the right thing. Don't be scammed yourselves, because there's some people out here who will try to lie to get some free stuff. But protect your reputation and protect your dollar. That's the advice that I can give to everybody. And then just also just weigh it out. Weigh out the experience compared to the trouble. Going to take a makeup class in LA from some influencer, I'm sorry, doesn't seem worth flying across the country for, but I'm not a makeup artist. Maybe it meant a lot to that girl to specifically learn from her. I don't know. Anyways, that's all I have time for today. What I had left, baby, we'll pick up on next week because we still got 3 more episodes left in this season. Okay. So anyway, so with that being said, I love to sit here and chit chat with y'all all day. Well, I ain't gonna hold y'all long. Y'all go ahead, get your little club sandwich or a little fish plate or something. Whatever maybe you listening in the morning. Go ahead, get your second cup of coffee or something. Okay. Anyways, we'll pick this up later on. Congratulations to the newly engaged Monet and Andy. Congratulations to Cardi B and Stefan. Good luck. May the odds ever be in your favor. God bless. Godspeed. Thank you to the dog in the back for being in agreement with me. All right, y'all take care. Okay, bye.